most of us high school students and some college students actually don't don't actually have an idea of what they want to be as they progress in life. But when we were since we were little, we had an idea of what we wanted to be. Some kids wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, a policeman, a fireman, something big, because that's what we aim for. And since I was little, I've always wanted to be an architect. It's always intrigued me, and I, I just love being in architecture because it's fascinating. Building buildings, like when you pass by them, you'll be like, oh, look at that! I made that. I made that building. You could claim it as your own, like show it off to your offspring or to one of your family members. I think that would be so cool to have. Um, I interviewed my cousin because he's in architecture, and he recently got into the field. He graduated with his master's at UTD, University of Dallas, um, University of Texas at Dallas, and um, while he was doing his master's, I would usually get onto his laptop and look to see what he was doing and see what he was learning. I was nosy like that, and he would sometimes teach me like what he was doing, and like I thought most of the stuff was simple, but he just told me the simple stuff. Um, to be qualified for a architect, or to qualify yourself as an architect, you the two main things would be you would have to be very good in math. That's something that I've been good at, like since I was little. I've always been ahead of the other kids. Um, I right now in high school I have nothing but A's in math, so I'm good with that. I'm taking AP Statistics right now, so I think that'll help me out more in college. Uh, um, art, you also have to have the willingness to be in architecture. Um, you want to have the ambition to be an architect. You want to strive for it. Like how I said stated earlier, I wanted to look at the buildings and say, oh look, that's mine. That's my building. I made that. I created that. You gotta also be able to read plans with the math that you know, the knowledge you know. You have to interpret. You have to have interpret the scales from the map to an actual building that you're gonna build. So you have to scale the buildings. Um, um, Another thing, um, architects build a variety of buildings. They build commercial and they build residential. These two buildings, residential would be like families, where families can live in, like homestead homes or apartments, stuff like that. And commercial would be like buildings like AT&T buildings, or like the Empire State Building and stuff like that. Those are the main two I look at because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be involved in. Um, Commercial buildings would be more difficult because you're not only talking about just one building. You're talking about kind of like a skyscraper. You have to be very careful with that, because if anything goes wrong, it's on the architect, because he's the one that planned it, and you have to be real good at it. Um, uh, Commercial would like a lot of people are interested in it. Also in residential, because residential families need homes, and you need to build a perfect house, because if you don't, then the family will be left with no house in the end. You gotta build it. You have to plan it real good so that it's safe for the whole family. Um, Basically, if you wanna pursue a dream, or if you have a dream career that you wanna pursue it. You don't wanna let go of it. I still haven't let go of it, and I don't plan on doing that. Most of the college students change careers when they progress. I plan, if you have the ambition, you want to stay in that field. I want to stay in that field, and I feel like I can progress to be in that field. I love architecture. It's always intrigued me, and it's just, I think it's fun. My cousin taught me some of the things, so I have a better knowledge of it. And he he thinks I can make it in the he thinks I can make it in architecture. So yeah.